What's up, YouTube?
Hello!
You doing good? 'Cause I'm doing great. We're gonna talk about some wrestlers from the 90s.
Woo! Right here!
This isn't an all-encompassing list. It's just some of the main guys from 1998, 1999, WWF, WCW, and ECW. I don't know why Discord just yelled at me, but it did. So let's get into the video. Oh, by the way, if you're not subscribing, subscribe. Be sure to like the video and comment your favorite wrestler from the 90s down below. Okay, so I gotta hit the button, right? Where's the button? Who's got the button? Yeah, desktop. There we go. Okay, so let's do this. We'll start out with the ECW guys first, and we will do one of these numbers. So we'll start out with the ECW guys first. Balls Mahoney. I get Balls' appeal, but I'm not big on Balls Mahoney. Bubba Ray Dudley. Dude, Bubba Ray Dudley is an A tier. He's a great heel, but Bubba Ray, I feel like his main heat seeking back then was the fact that he could just say whatever he wanted because it was ECW and not necessarily do the right things to get heat. He was just saying things to get heat, if that makes sense, because that dude was very vulgar at the time. I mean, people ate it up back then, but that was the 90s and the Attitude Era, and people did that. But he'd be S tier, I say later into his career for me. Chris Candido. Chris Candido is a solid wrestler, dude. But that's, for me, that's about it. He's just a solid guy, solid wrestler. Devon was good, man. I like Devon. Jerry Lynn, great wrestler, but like lacking in the personality. Just Incredible, another guy who's a great wrestler, but actually I liked his gimmick in ECW. It's kind of funny, kind of cool. Kid Cash, great wrestler, just lacks the personality. Dude, I don't care. Lance Storm's personality is that he didn't have personality, and I freaking loved it. Mike Awesome, Judas himself. I actually liked 90s Mike Awesome. Dude was badass. New Jack, dude was there to do one thing. It was kick ass and listen to rap music. And that was about it. Rhino would gore the shit out of you. And Rhino, like, dude, Rhino was like their version of Goldberg in a way. I'm gonna say B.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
RVD, he's S tier. RVD's good. Everybody loves RVD. Sabu had some intrigue, man. Little different. Kind of played that foreign gimmick, but at the same time, you know, just being able to do some of the crazy stuff he did, jumping off of everything. Shane Douglas, dude, Shane Douglas could talk his way into anything, man. I liked watching Shane Douglas. Spike, dude, Spike was like the little hero of Spike was that dude. I don't know how many videos you can see in ECW of him just getting thrown into the crowd. Steve Corino, I liked Corino a lot. But we'll keep Corino in the B tier for now. Super Crazy, dude. Super Crazy. Dude could just go. His wrestling ability on its own is just great. Tajiri. Tajiri. He's B tier, man. He's solid dude. Taz in ECW was the bee's knees, man. That dude could go. He didn't need to talk. He was just a badass. Terry Funk was great. Sandman's gimmick alone gets him in the A tier. Dude can't really wrestle that well, but the dude can, just like his gimmick was coming out to the beer, smoking a cigarette, drinking the beer, smacking his head with a kendo stick. Tommy Dreamer's B tier. I like Tommy Dreamer, but it got old after a while for me. Bam Bam Bigelow. So this is 90s WCW. Like, Bam Bam's just a B tier then. Like, he's not what he once was. Barry Windham. Dude, if we were doing early 90s, late 80s, Barry Windham would be an S tier, but Barry Windham's just gonna have to sit down in the C tier. Booker T, dude. Booker T's my dude. Love Booker T.
My man.
Bret Hart, he's just misused in WCW. Bret Hart should be S tier, but he was just completely misused in this time frame. Bryan Adams, I could give a crap about Bryan Adams. Buff the Stuff. Buff's an A tier, man. Buff never got really high on the card, but Buff was, I enjoyed his gimmick. Chavo Guerrero. I mean, he was a guy there to help the cruiserweight division and just do his deal. So I wouldn't. And I guess he did have a little bit of personality back then, but I enjoy Chavito's later work than more of his earlier work. Who's next? Who better than Canyon? Dude, I actually like Chris Canyon. Chris Canyon, and then he was just coming out of the Mortis gimmick, I think. Doing his Chris Canyon bit. Pretty good, dude. Once again, Mr. Perfect would be higher on the list if this was late 90s, or early 90s, late 80s. Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko is like in that Chris Candido, Jerry Lynn role where it's like you're really good at what you do, but in the ring, but lack of personality. The Iceman gimmick was perfect for him because he didn't have to talk, but anyway. DDP. DDP was the people's champion, man. DDP was awesome back then. Just hitting the diamond cutter. The man got the team with Karl Malone and Jay Leno, even though Karl Malone's a piece of crap, but that's a story for another time. Disco Inferno. Dude, I enjoyed the Disco gimmick. He was there to get his ass kicked, be annoying as hell, and he was good at being annoying as hell. The man tried to get Disco over in the 90s and kind of worked. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was S tier around this time for me. Dude knew how to get heat. Dude was good in the ring. He could talk. Even though they didn't let him talk as much as they probably should have in WCW. I think he was doing the LWO gimmick around this time, so kudos for the LWO gimmick. Ernest the Cat Miller. Dude, I like Ernest Miller, but he's just not that great. Fit Finley. He's in that B tier. He can go, but the gimmick really wasn't there. What was he, the Belfast Brawler then? I think that's the gimmick he was doing. Goldberg. Dude didn't need to talk. Just go be a badass. Hulk. Hollywood Hulk. He was the ultimate bad guy during the time. Hoovy Guerrero. Dude, Hoovy could go. I didn't like when they unmasked him. The luchadors, I thought they should have kept masked. They could have made so much money on that. Nash is S tier for back then. Kidman. Dude, Billy Kidman can go, man. Conan. Dude, Conan's S tier. Conan's probably one of the best wrestlers in WCW that just never got to the world heavyweight title like area like he should have. The total package was not the total package. It's Lex Luger. Lex Luger's kind of meh wrestling ability wise, but his look gets him somewhere, and the fact that he had success as a babyface in WCW is just crazy to me. But they actually kind of knew what they were doing with him back then. Psychosis. Dude, Psychosis was great. Those matches with Ray. Savage is always an S tier. Raven. Dude, I enjoyed the Flock gimmick. The Raven's Flock gimmick was really over with me as a kid. Rey Mysterio Jr. just because it's Ray, man. Ray could go, and it made it believable that a small guy could take on some of these bigger guys. Flair, this is gonna be controversial. Flair was only an A tier at this time. Rick Steiner. Dude. Rick's gonna be a B tier for me. He didn't do what his brother did and kind of reinvent himself. He just kind of kept doing the same gimmick, but just started barking like a dog. Piper was past his prime at this point. Not as good as what he could have been. Scott Hall. Dude, Scott Hall's always good. Steiner. Dude, Steiner reinvented himself. Did the whole chainmail gimmick. Dyed his hair blonde. Did his thing. Steiner was pretty solid. Sid Vicious. Dude, ripped that guy's leg in 01. There's a nasty video out there. Sid Vicious jumping off the second rope and just snapping his leg in half in 2001. It was absolutely nasty. Stevie Ray, just because he was part of the Harlem Heat. I don't think he was doing the Harlem Heat gimmick at this point. Or he was doing Harlem Heat 2000. But I enjoyed Stevie Ray, especially when he was running around with a slapjack, hitting people in the back of the head when he was a part of the NWO. Sting was always great. Vampiro, I could care less for Vampiro. Warrior, just get out of here.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Wrath. They were doing that whole Mortal Kombat and WCW gimmick. It was fine. Glacier was the only one I really cared about out of that group. All right, so we're getting into WWF territory. Oh, why is Masato Tanaka not with the ECW guys? Put my Masato Tanaka up here. Dude, if you haven't watched some Masato Tanaka matches with Mike Awesome, they've had some of the greatest matches I've seen. Al Snow's just kind of mid. The head gimmick's funny, but he's mid. Animal at this time was just mid. The whole deal with Hawk being drunk and them agreeing to do that was just a terrible idea. Big Boss Man, dude, Big Boss Man reinvented himself, and it did wonders. He wasn't the same Big Bubba Rogers like he was back in the day, or the same Big Boss Man, but did all right. Big Show. Big Show was a surprise, but Big Show just I liked him more in WCW as the Giant. Billy Gunn, dude, New Age Outlaws were so over. Put him in the A tier. Bradshaw at this point was kind of mid, like honestly C tier. APA was cool, don't get me wrong, I liked the gimmick, but I wasn't like, ooh, I need to see a Bradshaw match. Jericho's always S tier in the 90s, in the late 90s into the 2000s. Edge and Christian, Christian. Well, Christian without Edge is kind of like, it's like Billy Gunn without Road Dogg. Like, nobody really cared, but they got those table and ladder matches over big time. China, dude, China was kind of a big deal. A tier, man. Crash Holly, he was there to be hardcore title fodder. Davey Boy, dude, Davey Boy in 1998, 1999 was just a shell of himself. D'Lo with the head shake, man. That whoever edits this, add in the D'Lo Brown head shake. Edge, dude, Edge was only if you have him with his kayfabe brother Christian. Like, that's the only time. The only separate, they're not A tier, but together they're A tier. Since they were a tag at this point, they're A tier. Farouk, man, I like Ron Simmons. He gets a B just out of respect for me. But they were just, him and Bradshaw were just like background noise, man. And that was such a waste of him. He should have done more in WWF. Gangrel, dude. Gangrel is just a gimmick. Nothing other than him spitting out blood. Does anybody really remember a Gangrel match? Gilbert, dude, Gilbert's funny.
The Royal Rumble match. And Edge. Oh, Gilbert! Oh, please.
Yeah, I'll give Gilbert C tier. Goldust, even though he was very weird at that time, B tier. Grandmaster Sexay. I give, dude, Too Cool was over, man. Hardcore Holly, dude, he was there to be hardcore title fodder. Hawk, and this time was just D tier, dude. He let himself go too far. Like, if this was late 80s, early 90s, he's in the S tier, obviously. Yo, Jeff freaking Hardy, dude. The hood rocks with Jeff Hardy, and so do I. Dude was just willing to do crazy things. Double J, Jeff Jarrett. I actually like Jeff Jarrett, man. He gets a lot of hate nowadays, but and throughout the 2000s, but I like Double J. Kane was an A tier. He's an a-hole now, but I like Kane. Ken Shamrock, dude. Ken Shamrock's like one of the biggest what ifs. What if they did certain things? Kurt Angle, yeah, S tier. Dude didn't even realize he was gonna be the biggest heel in the company, and was. Mankind in this time, yeah, dude, Mankind's up here. Sexual Chocolate Mark Henry, dude. Mark Henry, if this was later on, would be higher up the card or higher up my rankings, but Matt and Jeff together, A tier. Midian, dude, get Midian out of here. That Midian's a nice dude from what I hear, but he's doing the naked Midian shtick. Get him out of here. Owen Hart, man, like I love Owen Hart. Shame he died, man. Prince Albert. Get rid of Prince Albert. When your gimmick name is after a piercing of male genitalia named after that, it's like, no, I'm good. Rikishi, dude, Too Cool was so over back then. Road Dogg, and I'm actually gonna put Road Dogg up here because that dude got the crowd hype back in the day. Dude, like he could wrestle, but like not like one of these main eventers. But he made you think the tag team was the main event the way he came out. Scotty 2 Hotty. Where did I put Grandmaster Sexay? Because the Too Cool gimmick got over with me. I don't know. But Scotty, that dude, everybody loved to see that dude do the worm. Shawn Michaels. This is Commissioner Shawn Michaels. He gets a B tier just on it being a character alone, but if he could still wrestle, he would have been an A/S tier. Steve Austin. It's a no-brainer. Steve Blackman. Dude, Steve Blackman's so serious. Taka's a B, man. Taka kept that light heavyweight division doing something. Test was terrible. Test was in the perfect opportunity with the perfect gimmick with Stephanie McMahon, and just like it didn't work. Godfather, dude, everybody loves Godfather and his hoes, right? The Rock, S tier. Taker, even though I like some of his Taker's earlier work better, not so much his later work or like his late 90s work, but he's always gonna be an S tier. Triple H, love it or hate it, he's actually pretty solid, dude. Val Venus is a giant jerk nowadays, but people love that gimmick. Visser, get out of here, dude. X-Pac can go wrestling wise, and the character worked. Personally, I think it's a really good list, but people are gonna argue with it. Argue it in the comments down below, please. If you disagree with anything, let me know. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later.